I'm going to save state here to prevent any potential soft locking, because this is the flamethrower cave.
Oh.
And once we go through here, we can't go up. We can't come back from the other side. And this leads to... Oh, okay. This leads to here.
Okay.
So that's not soft locked.
Very good.
But we just can't go back the other way.
There is no return from here.
The only problem is that we have to go all the way back around to get back to where we were, but that's okay, I guess.
You can just save and quit.
No, because if I save and quit, when you restart your file in Link's Awakening, it just brings you back to the last door you went through.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a pain in the butt.
It can be. But at the very least, you're not necessarily put into a position where I can really just get rid of that. Where was I going? I have something for this. You don't necessarily have to go back. Like if you're on the other side of the map and you only have like a link to the past where, you can only go back to the pyramid or whatever. Even though you were like in one of the four corners of the earth when you died, and you have to go all the way back over.
Sure. Okay.
But then you have like the opposite problem if that does happen to be a problem for you. Either way.
I just love picturing Link stoically taking his boots off and putting them back on every 5 seconds.
Well, that's what he does in the in the Water Palace in Ocarina of Time.
That's fair. That Link, he's always futzing about with his boots and his jewelry.
Like everyone named Link in these games is just destined to just have to carry a bunch of shit with him all the time. And just, like, put it in, like, a magic pouch somewhere where it's not necessarily, like, when it's inactive, it's not necessarily visible. Like, where is he holding that, like, frickin' ladder that he uses to go over water in Zelda 1?
It's, it's just an expression of... Are they going to do that every time? Wonderful.
Until we save Bow Wow, yeah.
It's an expression of his pure motive force, that he's able to hold all these things up. He is Atlas. And
it's back to the Ayn Rand
yes,
again.
and Link, one day Link will cease.
Back in the carbonite.
Will cease his futile labors on behalf of the parasite class of Koholint Island, and he'll shrug. Link shrugged, and he'll join the only truly rational and good character on Koholint, Richard, of course, in his castle, while the rest of the island rots and decays. This has been Ayn Rand's Link's Awakening. You have to. It'll be the first video game that'll be mandatory to play in American schools.
I don't think a lot of these books are even mandatory to read anymore.
Nah,
I never had to read any Ayn Rand.
You just go on internet websites now. One of my English teachers junior year.
We can open up the color dungeon now.
Had the Fountainhead as one of her mandatory books, and
I've never read any of these.
I was sure glad that I was not in the class that had to read the Fountainhead. I was, however, in the class that had to read fucking Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, which, if you ever wanted to, like, completely fucking sour someone's opinion on Charles Dickens forever, have them be, like, a fucking, like 16-year-old junior in high school and hand them that fucking brick and be like, you have 3 weeks to get through this!
I mean, I haven't read any Ayn Rand books, but, like, I've seen Ayn Rand books because my dad...
I have seen them!
And they are...
they are doorstops!
I don't think that it would be possible for one at that age to have the patience or willpower to read through one of those in 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's...
That's not a thing that's going to happen.
That's like handing a kid Moby Dick, or...
the unabridged Moby Dick.
What's that? Infinite Jest.
I don't know what that is.
That long-ass book from the 90s.
Murder the ghosts.
Yes, murder the ghosts. They are parasites clinging to the land of the living.
I have yet to read Moby Dick, but I got a copy of Moby Dick from my grandpa or my pop. as we call them.
I read it a few years ago. It's surprisingly good.
The last time I was at his house, he was like giving a lot of his books away, and I'm like, I saw like a one volume version of like the entire Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books. Like, at least I don't know if there was a sixth one that they made in the meantime, but I know those that had the 5 in there.
You died.
That's okay.
Yeah, I was surprised at for a book written in like,
for fuck's sake,
just how like with such a reputation of being like this stolid, sterile, massive doorstop classic. It was surprising to me how many scenes in Moby Dick are just straight up like heavy metal album covers.
Yeah.
Like ramming the fucking whales with like your raft and shit. It's pretty metal.
Yeah, because the other book I got was like an unabridged Moby Dick, and I had to read that. But
I read it on a Kindle, which is good because you don't have to lug this gigantic book along with you. I fucking love the Kindle. If Kindle would sponsor an LP channel, even though we don't do anything to do with have anything to do with books, I would gladly accept a sponsorship from the Amazon Kindle.
Well, I'm sure we would accept a lot of sponsorships.
I would love one of the new Paperwhites. Look, if you send it to me, I'll
do an exclusive review.
Yeah, 10 shots, 10 bots, and a review of the Amazon Paperwhite, third edition, or whatever it is, with the flat screen. It's the waterproof one.
We're planning on doing another 10 shots, 10 bots, folks.
Because I'm definitely, down to throw my e-reader, like, in a full bathtub. Please help us. We've been begging you. Please, the dog is missing. The dog is sharp again. And this point, it actually makes sense that the dog is sharp.
I have an e-reader, but it's the e-reader that was for the Game Boy Advance that did the cards, and had games on the cards. That would not work if you put that in water.
No, very much no.
So I was like one of the 3 people in the world who bought and used that.
Yeah, if there's any like practical piece of advice like you, the listener viewer, ever take from me, it's get an e-reader and get a library card and go to your library's Overdrive website. Overdrive is a system that allows you to check out electronic books for 2 weeks and download them straight to your Kindle. And it's amazing how many people have just no fucking clue that such a thing exists. For like, Mike, I'm not going to say what county I live in because that's a little bit too much personal information to be giving out on YouTube. But my county does this. Pretty much we live in Central Virginia, and pretty much every county in and around Richmond is on Overdrive. So yours probably is too. And you can download ebooks and get them for free.
Can I do that with my phone?
Yes, if you have the Kindle app on your phone. Yes,
I don't have a Kindle app,
anything that you can put the Kindle app on, you can do. So a phone, a tablet, or whatever. I just find the Kindle, like the e-ink display and everything, to be a lot better than like sitting there with a tablet and reading it. That's like sitting down and reading a book, like looking at a computer screen.
I feel like I should probably have that because I have a subscription to Amazon Prime, so I think it would make sense for me to have something like that. But the most I use it for, I buy things off Amazon, but the most I use it for otherwise is oh, that's useless. The most I use it for really nowadays is just watching the video app, and that's it.
Same.
That's actually
my wife uses it for the free shipping for all of her supplies for her company. But
well, that's neat.
And I mean, you buy things on Amazon sometimes, and it's nice to have the free shipping. But yeah, mostly I like, honestly, of the big 3 media streaming platforms, and I don't know why we've gotten on this in the Zelda thing, but who cares? Of the big 3 media streaming platforms, Netflix, Amazon Video, and Hulu, I'm honestly noticed that I am spending more time on Amazon Video than the others.
I straight up canceled Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix had
Voltron, which is over now. They have Marvel shows, which are all canceled.
Yes.
And I think there was something else that I was...
Yeah, Netflix is in trouble.
They have Stranger Things, but they've been, like, constantly delaying the 3rd season.
That's one show. I feel like Netflix has enough marquee stuff, like to keep them like the Ted Bundy thing and the Abducted in Plain Sight
I'm not
documentary,
watching those.
and enough like hot button shit. I've never really felt tempted to drop Netflix, but Amazon Video, particularly for me, because I love shitty horror movies and weird foreign horror movies, and Amazon, particularly if you get Shudder as an add-on to your Amazon Video, which I have done off and on. I usually do it for a month or two every like 6 or 7 months to watch like what's come on Shudder recently. It's just fantastic in terms of like what they have. My wife does Hulu more. Hulu's big thing, Hulu has a really shitty movie selection. Hulu's big thing is they have like all the fucking network TV. Like if you like any of like the big network shows like How to Get Away with Murder,
like
The
Brooklyn
Good
Nine-Nine.
Wife, or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and you want to watch them on Hulu, and you don't have cable, and you want to watch them like the day after they come out on actual TV, you have Hulu.
Yeah.
And that's what it's for. They also have a shit ton of anime on Hulu, which they don't have a lot of anime on either
I'm okay with
Netflix or Amazon. Although they're getting Evangelion on Netflix, which is... I'm interested to see if that has like a new dub or...
Doesn't Amazon have some Gundam stuff on there?
Amazon has a lot of like 70s and 80s anime. They have Macross.
Oh. I need to get the fuck on that then.
Yeah, I've noticed that they have a lot of old stuff, but like all the new stuff that's on like Crunchyroll, like what's the big thing? It's the Shield thing. The Shield Bearer or whatever, that's on there. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord's on there. All of the Bakemonogatari shit is on there.
I mean,
I'm also kind of a weeb, I guess. This is the part where I out myself as both a lover of like found footage horror movies and anime, and I don't know which one is more.
I'm just dungeon delving here to find some more stuff.
This is what I'm looking for. Shameful. Oh, which dungeon is this?
This is Dungeon 5. I'm just seeing if I can access some
Dungeon 5.
If I can access some items.
Yeah, they got Macross. As I mentioned to you in conversation, they have a lot of old ass TV shows on Amazon Prime. Like they have the old 1960s
Mission Impossible.
Peter
right?
Graves and what's his name? Martin Landau.
Right.
Mission Impossible, which is awesome.
Yeah, I should look into that because I like shows like Hawaii Five-0, like the old Hawaii Five-0.
That's why I did it, because you had me sit down and watch when we hung out, we watched that episode, a couple episodes of like Hawaii Five-0 or whatever, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then my wife and I, we rented on a date night a few weeks later, right before I started, we rented Mission Impossible Fallout. The new one, which was good, by the way.
I haven't seen any of the movies.
And I was like, I've never watched like the 60s TV show. Like, I wonder what it's like. I wonder if any of the like streaming platforms have it. So I checked, and Amazon Prime has like every frickin' season of Mission Impossible. And of course, I started with the second season because the first season didn't have
Peter Graves.
Peter Graves as
Jim Phelps.
Jim Phelps. So that's really when the show came into its own, or whatever.
I have cursory knowledge of the show, but not much else.
And that's also when Walter Landau joined as a full-time cast member. He was I don't know why I know all these things. He was a special guest star prior to season 2, who was in several episodes. But after season 2 and up, he's in like every episode.
Yep. My thing with the whole streaming thing is I'm at the point now where I don't want to pay for more than one.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
The only reason I have Amazon Prime was because I used a trial for it and just like never deactivated it. Mm-hmm. And then once I found out that like all of these things that I watched on Netflix were ending, and that there was really no more reasons for me to stick around, I just kind of ditched it. And then I started looking more on Amazon Prime because there's been stuff on there that I've been interested in watching, like the Grand Tour, which is Top Gear without being Top Gear.
Yeah.
Orphan Black is still on there, right?
I think so. It's like, I don't think it's every season of Orphan Black. I think it's like the first 2 seasons, I think, are on Prime. But you can, like, that's the other thing that I like and appreciate about Prime, is on Netflix, if you want to watch something, say there's like an edge case, there's a movie or some shit you really want to watch, you look it up on Netflix, it's not on there, you go, eh. Amazon Prime, there's that edge case where if you look for it, you know, it's not on Prime or whatever, but because that's all linked up to Amazon Store, you can buy or rent it right through the Amazon Prime.
Yeah. I've also been
interested... I have like, I say that because I have a couple seasons of Orphan Black that I purchased through Amazon Prime. So I don't know if those ever came to it normally afterwards or not. I would have to check, but...
Yeah. But I've been interested in watching that for a while, and also The Man in the High Castle, because I like alternate reality stuff. But more often than I found that they have like almost all of Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares on there. I'm like, yes. I really miss watching this show.
It's so good. I like they've got all the British one on there. It's definitely one of my go-to, like, back that and Cutthroat Kitchen are like my go-to, like, have this on in the background. While I like play the Switch or whatever, things. Like
I like shows like that. I think what was the other one? For whatever reason, I like watching Undercover Boss.
See, I'm not a fan of Undercover Boss.
I wouldn't think so, but like let's make our like pretend that he cares.
Yeah, let's make it.
Why am I losing money? Oh, I guess here's
I treat all of my employees like shit. Okay, well, I'm going to treat this specific employee really nicely.
Because they were on TV.
And give myself some free publicity on, whatever fucking network Undercover Boss is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we've gotten everything we can get out of here for now.
I will say, though, even as, like, an insane hardcore leftist, the one show that I do that is just completely contrary to that I do shamefully love is Shark Tank. Shark Tank is just so great. Particularly when they have, like, crazy people on there. They don't do it very often. Like, especially in, like, the more recent seasons of the show, they don't do it. But occasionally they just have, like, a completely fucking crazy person on there with, like, trying to pitch some, like, time cube shit. And they're all oh, what? Or, like, one season they had a guy literally pitch a pyramid scheme to them. And they're like, this is a pyramid scheme. He's like, no, it's totally not.
Just checking the time on here.
Oh, yeah, how long have we been... 50 minutes. 50 minutes.
I try to aim for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, no worries.
So I can easily split up into 3 half-hour parts.
So this has been the part where we talk about streaming services.
That's fine.
It was previously.
We go off on tangents all the time.
It was previously Ayn Rand's Link's Awakening, and now it's chatting about Amazon Prime, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'll have to find some Judas Priest songs that will fit with those.
Judas Priest. You can listen to Judas Priest on Amazon Music.
I get that. I get my music through Google Play though, because it just goes right. I do Google Play on my phone.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's the whole thing that happened with Netflix, though, is it used to be good because it was the only game in town, but now they want you to subscribe to, like, 6 different streaming services.
I'm not doing that.
Like, the whole reason so many people, like, cut the cord is because cable's so freaking expensive. So now they want to make that money off the cord cutters and have them, What are you doing?
I'm trying to grab the sphere and walk through that.
Quaid, touch the orb. Oh, no! No, come back! Come back! Yeah, and it's only going to get worse, because you know what's coming this year.
Is the Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Oh, man.
I'm not getting that.
Disney Plus, all the Marvel movies that you see on Netflix when Star Wars shows up, the Marvel shows. Yeah, all that's gone.
I think they're doing another season of Jessica Jones at this point, and that's it. I don't know.
I thought they were just
Because I know that even after...
I don't think they are.
I heard that they were doing another Jessica Jones season.
I'm sure they are on Disney Plus.
I know that even after they canceled Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, they still did another season of The Punisher. Because I watched that. That was the last thing I watched before I turned
canceled
Netflix
off. Money! But yeah, it's just getting more and more fragmented.
And I'm not getting the CBS All Access just to watch the one Star Trek show.
Yeah, no, hell no. But that's what they want. That's the solution that they want to the huge number of people that are cutting cable out of their lives, is to monetize them in a different way by choking them with all these streaming services where it's, you can have this thing, you can have this series here and this series here. It's the same thing that's happened. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you there. Right. It's the same thing that's happening now with video games, with the Epic Store.
Epic Store, or like, the Xbox Game Pass, they're doing that sort of streaming thing.
Epic has some cool exclusives. There's a game that I really wanted to play. It's sort of indie. It's an indie game that's sort of Dark Souls-ish, I believe it's called Ashen. That's exclusive to the fucking Epic Store. Hello, Kirby. And yeah, it just sucks because now you've got Steam, you've got GOG, and it's.
I bought stuff off of GOG.
Everybody just wants everybody just wants a centralized place to keep all of their digital shit.
But now they can't because everything's all split up. I don't know where I was going with this, but like with is the Xbox Game Pass, is that streaming, or is that just downloading? From
what I understand, you can stream it, or you can download it locally to your system, as long as you're subscribed.
Because I remember because I know PlayStation Now is the streaming thing.
Yeah, PlayStation Now is the all streaming thing.
And I'm like, why?
And that's not going to work. I've tried it. I've got good internet at home. I've tried it. The thing is... Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
Well, I mean, that's kind of where I was going. Why do people want this? Streaming games is garbage.
Yeah. I think have I talked about this on the... Have I broken down on the...
I don't think we talked about any of this podcast.
I've thought about it. I feel like I've had a mental thing where I broke down exactly why, game streaming is garbage and won't work the way companies think it will, because they think, we stream everything. Games are not like that. Games require, there is a constant, when you're listening to music or you're watching a movie at home and you're streaming it, if there's a momentary hiccup or whatever, it doesn't matter because you've got this magical thing called buffering, where, as I'm sure everybody listening knows, when you load up a song on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, it's downloading it to your computer in chunks of 30 seconds at a time, or it's for music, it's probably downloading the whole thing. Your Roku box or your console that you're watching Netflix on usually has a few minutes of the movie in its system at any given time, so if there's a momentary hiccup, nothing is fucked up. You have a completely seamless experience that you never notice any problems with. But that is not at all. Can you throw a bomb over there?
Yes.
That is not the case for games. There's a constant input output, and that's the thing. I'm not even talking about the game servers. I'm saying that there are multiple points of failure along the line.
Yeah.
You've got their server to your internet service provider, to your computer, to your router, to whatever sort of Wi-Fi you have set up, whatever sort of wired connection you have set up. Any one of those points of failure, if there is if you're streaming music and there's a sudden half a second hiccup, that's extremely common. If you're listening to music, you never notice it. If you're watching a movie, you never notice it. If you're playing Dark Souls, you're dead. And, your game experience is fucked.
Well, if you're playing Dark Souls, you're dead anyway.
Well, yes.
That's not the point.
But it's not something that you can ever replicate through streaming. Not without a direct, Ethernet connection directly to the server.
Yeah, that's gonna
work.
It's gonna affect your, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Latency?
Not, well... along the same lines, but your reaction.
Yeah.
And that's no bueno if you're like, especially if you like. I don't know if you can stream games and then play them online multiplayer. Like if there's a way like you can stream like Overwatch or some shit like that.
That's exactly. I just remembered it now. Sorry.
That's right.
That's exactly what I was going for. Picture like you sitting at home playing Overwatch or Call of Duty or whatever, you know. Think about how often you play and it has lag. Like I play a game called Dead by Daylight and it lags fucking constantly. Now imagine every single time you had lag in your game, you couldn't move or input commands for 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah.
The game would be completely fucking unplayable. Even if you have a fantastic fucking connection and like a wonderful setup, if you're playing Overwatch for like a night of gaming, like 3 or 4 hours, you are going to have at least 2 or 3 instances of lag. And with this streaming pipeline that's set up, every one of those instances of lag is basically going to completely fuck your game. Like, you're going to lose contact with the game, you're going to be standing there, you're going to get shot, you're going to die.
You're going to get killed by Video Game Donkey, and it will be shown on the internet.
You will have a gravestone with a big Yoshi.
big Yoshi. And he'll do a snarky comment about you.
Yes, exactly.
And nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
I mean, the people watching Donkey want that, but not you.
So please don't stream games. Now, a system like the Game Pass thing where you download where you essentially download the game and you keep it as long as you're, you know, subscribed or whatever. Something like essentially PlayStation Plus. I mean, we have that already. Just imagine PlayStation Plus with a constant except all the PlayStation Plus games are a constant library of games you can download.
And you can download more than 2 a month now.
Yes. That could work. Certainly, that could work. But, you know, a box, if any video game executive, if you are listening to us, Miyamoto-san, any executive who is thinking that the next generation of consoles, or even the generation after that, is going to look like a tiny box that streams all of your games from a server, you're fucking delusional. Yeah. Like, you need, like, the video game industry version of Gordon Ramsay to go to your headquarters and go like kitchen nightmares all over you.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, though, is that even though these sort of things are bad ideas, the execs they want this and they're still going to make it happen.
Oh, they want it, of course, because they see how much money is going to place it. Look at GameStop. Oh shit.
This is a lot less tolerable without the magic rod.
Yes. That is a fuck right there.
I'm not even going to go for the key. I'm just going to go for, like, the chests.
Okay. They look at shit like GameStop and see millions of dollars that they should be having. They don't think that the used game market should exist. I mean, they let the mask slip with the Xbox One. Remember when the Xbox One was announced?
Oh, yeah.
And it had always-on DRM. It had to check in every other day. You weren't allowed to lend people video games that you owned. Like,
yeah.
that was the mask slipping on the video game industry. That's, you know...
And remember how well that happened? When that went down?
That is what Scientologists actually believe. Like, that's the future they want. Oh, it's a bomb. Wonderful. Oh my god, JC, a bomb.
A bomb.
That is a bomb, right? That's not a compass?
That is a bomb. I don't think we have the compass. No, we've avoided getting beaked so far in this dungeon.
Yeah, that's absolutely what the money arm, the executives want.
Okay.
I mean, they want you they want you to just, they don't want you to own any games. They want you to just license them eternally and pay them, you know, monthly fees like you do with Netflix and everywhere else.
And that, honestly, that's one of the, I mean, all of this bullshit with that and the microtransactions and I am seriously at a point where I'm not going to buy any more consoles or anything like that in the future. Like PlayStation 5, fuck it. No. I'm not gonna...
I honestly would probably just buy a nicer graphics card before I buy a PlayStation 5 at this point.
I mean,
Although I'm probably going to end up buying one for my kid. He's going to want Minecraft 2 or whatever.